Now, when you're in your early 30s and you're pushing for growth in your business, there's a lot of stuff coming at you. You're trying to set up your life, you're trying to buy a house, you're trying to get married, you're maybe having your first kid. There's an awful lot of noise. And quite frankly, it's one of the most unstable times in your life. And I want to share with you 5 mindset shifts that I made to allow me to make an absolute fortune, live life on my terms, working with people that I love, doing what I love, and making a hell of a lot of money in the process. If we're meeting for the first time, my name is Phil Graham. I make millions in profit every single year, coaching entrepreneurs how to think, improve their decision making, grow their businesses, and most importantly, live life on their terms. So first things first is vision. Vision gives you energy. Here's something to think about. When your vision of the future gets bigger and better than your current reality, your life gets better. Everybody talks about food, rest, and all the basic stuff for energy, but no one really talks about vision. When you have a vision for something in the future that you can really feel and integrate into your every fiber, it gets you excited. So if I said to you right now, let's go forward in time 3 years, I want you to just close your eyes and imagine what you would love to be doing, what you would love to be around, what kind of friends you would have, what kind of money you would be making. And I want you to really sink into how that feels. When I'm consulting and coaching business owners on how to develop their vision, the most important thing I get them to do is build out a life mission statement. And a life mission statement is simply, where do they want to be? Where do they want to end up? And that can be over a 1-year period, a 3-year period, a 5-year period, a 10-year period. It ultimately doesn't matter. You pick the time frame because that's ultimately your deadline, that's your accountability. And essentially, we get them to write out what their life is like, how they show up, what they have, who they are, how other people see them, and a whole range of different things. I've actually written a life mission statement from way back that I want to share with you, and you can actually access it in the show notes. If you just click the link, you'll get an example of how I've written mine. And everything on that life mission statement is true, is factual. I'm actually beyond it now, but I want you to really study that carefully and read it every day. Read it first thing in the morning before your coffee. The reason why that is so important is because it allows you to get clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer on who you want to become. And you can integrate that right now. You can feel the emotions associated with being that person. If you really put the effort and time and intention into it, you're going to run into challenges. And that leads me to the second point. First, they'll criticize you, then they'll follow you. I want to tell you a little story. When I was in the thick of growing my business in my early 20s, I lived in the gym. I was a personal trainer, I was an online coach, and I also was training for Mr. Universe, Mr. Britain, and all the fancy bodybuilding shows. And my environment was a gym. It was home, gym, computer for my online clients. That was pretty much it for years on end. I used to sleep in my car in between personal training clients. It was crazy. In order for me to hit my goals, I had to change how I showed up, how I talked, and how I behaved. And back then, when social media was only really starting, I also had to communicate what I was doing for people, how I could help them, and everybody looked at how I behaved as different. Most people couldn't really get it. A few people supported it and gave me a thumbs up because they saw how much I worked, but there was an even greater amount of people that just, quite frankly, were always trying to patronize me, always trying to put me down, always trying to make fun of me, always trying to poke fun. And there was one individual in particular, his name was Brian, that trained in the gym. And every time that he came in, he would say something sarcastic. He would write sarcastic stuff underneath my social media comments. And I just genuinely didn't like him. He was a thorn in my side. And I was exposed to him quite a lot because he trained in the same gym 5 days a week. So he was always there. And it annoyed me to the point where I literally just had to put him on mute. In my early 20s, I was still trying to figure out life, figure out my business, and build my empire. And I couldn't understand why somebody else wouldn't like me going after what I wanted in life. And here's what happened. The gym that I was coaching out of, the gym that I ran my business out of, went out of business. And I had to go off on my own. And it was at that point where I never saw Brian ever again. I didn't see him for years until when I was in my early 30s and I bought my dream home and I was getting the broadband fitted. Long story short, I got a call from the engineer just 2 or 3 days after I got the keys for the house. And I remember walking around the grounds of the house and I got this call and it was the engineer. Turns out it was Brian. He rang me and says, "Hey, is that Phil Graham? It's Brian. Beep. I'm coming to fit the broadband in your house." I put the phone down and I kind of went, I don't like this guy. I really do not like this guy. This is going to be weird and awkward. So he pulled his van in, he got out of the van, and he started looking everywhere. He couldn't look me in the eye. You could tell something was off. You could tell he was diffused. And I brought him in and I showed him where the broadband needed to go. And he made a little bit of small chat here and there. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking to myself, look at where you are and look at where I am. And I don't mean to say that from a patronizing point of view, but this was a guy that gave me hell in the younger years of my life when I went against my parents, took all the risks and threw myself out there. And he was an engineer back then. Nothing had changed, nothing. And you know, this was a guy that was, 5 to 7 years older than me, had a kid before me, had a family. And I suppose the big lesson here is really this: the stronger and clearer your vision, the better. You are going to face people that will tell you that you cannot do it. You're going to face people that will make fun of you for changing the way that you show up and the way that you behave. But that is where you have to have the courage to trust yourself and follow through. You're always going to have people that are going to criticize you. But I decided to immerse myself in the right people, the right inputs, and the right behaviors in order to get that vision. And I got it. Whenever I walked Brian out of the house to, after he'd done the job of fitting the broadband, I said to him, bro, I just want to thank you for supporting me and driving me. And that's the way I left it. And I don't really know how he would have processed that, but for me in my heart, that's what I wanted to share with him, because when you have a vision and people start criticizing it, there is a part of you that wants to say, fuck you, I'm going to prove you wrong. Now that's great for activation energy. It's not a long-term fuel system or operating system to work from, but it can certainly drive you, because guess what? If you want to be surrounded by people that are constantly criticizing you for bettering yourself, that's going to be a miserable life. So I went double down on making sure that I got my dream and I got my vision. And I leveraged the negativity, the challenge, the criticism, the doubt, all that stuff from those guys. I looked at them and said, they are not living a life that I want to have. I want to build my own independence. I want to build my own life. What have I got to lose? Fuck it, all in. So take it from me, if you're building something right now and people close to you don't understand it, can't relate to you, you've outgrown friends, it is all part of the journey. Think to yourself, what is on the other side of all of that? On the other side is you trusting yourself. So be the change that you want to be, because your growth, your drive will deaden people to the reality of where they're at in their life. So I just really want to share it with you now that first they'll criticize you, then they'll follow you. So lead through with your vision, trust in yourself, and get after it. The third mindset shift is asking for what you want. What do you want right now? Who could you go to and ask for something that is going to support what you want? If you're running a business and you're wanting to make deals and you're wanting to close sales, go and find the people that have got the pain point that you solve. What have you got to lose? So you show how committed you are by asking for what you want. If you don't ask for what you want, don't complain about the results you didn't get from the things that you didn't do. Ask for what you want. Number 4 is filtering your beliefs. From the moment that you woke up this morning, you've probably had a range of beliefs that have come into your head. My business is going to fail. I've got to walk the dog. I've got to train later. That team member's annoying me. That client's really annoying me. What am I doing at the weekend? Why did my ex treat me that way? Why are those people saying those things about me? I'm going to fail. I know I'm a failure. I don't get on with my parents. All of these beliefs will cloud your focus. But here's what you need to realize. Once you're clear on your vision, the beliefs that come into your mind every single day are either going to fall into 2 categories. They're either going to be useful and they're going to create energy and drive you towards bigger, better things, or they're not going to be useful and they're going to distract you, they're going to pull you backwards, and they're going to deplete your energy. You need to build the muscle inside your mind whenever you are faced with a belief that you look at it and you go, useful, not useful, and anything that's not useful, you bin it, you disregard it, you get it out of the way. Anything that's useful, you absorb it and you focus on it. Beliefs drive your behavior. And if your beliefs are constantly sporadic, all over the place, and more negative than they are positive and reinforcing, then the chances of you accomplishing your goals are less likely. So you need to train yourself to look at your beliefs through the lens of useful, not useful, and only focus on the stuff that is useful. So just think about the beliefs that you have even had during the course of this video. What's been useful, what's not useful. And if you don't have a vision, then it's quite hard to coordinate those beliefs into energy and fuel. But build the internal filter to look through your beliefs. And by the way, all of your beliefs are entirely your perception. They're not necessarily the truth. So if you're saying something about how awful your life is, or how bad business is going to be, or how difficult times are right now, that is your perception. Understand that there's a total opposite opinion to that that is also available out there. And you've just got to look at your beliefs and ask yourself, is this useful or is this not useful? Bin the ones that aren't useful. I challenge you for 24 hours to only focus on the beliefs that are useful. It's hard because we're all conditioned to think about what could go wrong in order to survive. But guess what? You've survived your worst days. You're still okay. So lean in and focus on the stuff that's useful. And number 5, last thing, business is tough. Clients are going to do your head in. Team members are going to do your head in. You're going to be scared. You're going to have high months and you're going to feel elated. You're going to have low months and you're going to think you're going to go broke. You are going to go into debt at some point. You are going to go net negative on your profit and loss. You are going to have a challenging time, and ask yourself, is this really worth it? But here's the truth about business that I realized in my early 30s that completely blew my mind and made me fearless and an absolute savage when it came to just doing deals, getting shit done, and navigating chaos. The real purpose of your business isn't the products and services you sell. The real underlying purpose of your business is to transform you and all the humans that you come in touch with, your team and your clients, into the real powerful humans they were meant to be. Just think about that for a second. All the challenges, all the wins, all the ups and downs, they are designed to transform you into the human, the person that you are truly meant to be. And that gives you a different lens on approaching challenges and ups and downs in business. It's training you, it's teaching you, it's showing you everything about how to manage your emotions, how to manage your relationships, how to improve your self-talk, and how to become an awesome human. So lean in, don't be afraid. The challenges are only going to get bigger the higher you climb, but you're going to get better. Living in your 30s is tough, and I hope these mindset shifts have really allowed you to improve the quality of your thinking and conversation with yourself. Every single week, I drop a brand new video on how to strengthen your thinking and build a business that allows you to live life in your own terms. But most importantly, transform you into the human that you were truly meant to be. Don't forget to subscribe, stay tuned, going to be dropping another video next week with even more insights on how you can radically improve your business growth, your personal growth, and everything else. Chat soon.